All right, guys. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Iran war from a different angle, obviously. So, 3 months into this war, the US is supposedly losing. The NASDAQ is, I don't know, up 14, 15% since then. Defense stocks, they doubled. American energy, actually, exports just hit record high. And then we're still talking about losing. So, if this is losing, I'll take it any day. Okay. So if we go back from the beginning of this war, when the US and Israel decided to launch Operation Epic Fury, right, against Iran, within maybe hours, the supreme leader is dead. But then within weeks, we start talking about a stalemate in the war. The Pentagon spent like over $30 billion so far and still climbing. So by every conventional measure, America looks bogged down in this war, right? But look at what's happening underneath the headlines. The US crude and petroleum exports, right, are just hit nearly 13 million barrels a day, the highest in history. American LNG exports are up 28% in the first 4 or 5 months right now of this year. Europe now sources 63% of their LNG from the United States. Saudi Arabia just pledged $1 trillion into American investments. And Taiwan Semiconductor, Intel, Samsung, they're all producing now advanced chips on US soil for the first time ever. So something is being built here. And it's definitely not what most people think. So here's my take. There's this former Credit Suisse strategy named Zoltan Pozsar, one of the most respected, influential voices in finance. He's been saying something most people are not really ready to hear. The Iran war is not a failure. That's what he was saying. I mean, paraphrasing, obviously. He says it's a choke point play. The US is not trying to remove Iran from the map. It is actually collecting choke points. Count them with me. You have the Panama Canal. You have Venezuelan oil. You have Iranian oil. You have the Strait of Hormuz. Every one of these are used to flow to China. Now they do not. Or at least they flow on American terms. Look at the pattern. Europe needs American LNG because Russia is gone and Qatar is very constrained at this time. China, they need American permission for energy it used to buy freely. The Gulf monarchies, they just pledged $1 trillion into US assets because they need American securities guarantees more than ever. Even the world's most advanced chip makers, Taiwan, TSMC, right? Korea's Samsung, they're being pulled physically into American soil. This is not a multipolar world everyone has been forecasting. This is something more interesting. The United States is becoming the indispensable node in a fragmented system, guys. Self-sufficient on energy, reindustrializing on capital, hosting the chips, holding the choke points, and still issuing the currency that touches almost 90% of the global transactions. A generation from now, this period will be studied. I guarantee you this, as the moment the United States stopped being one of several great powers and became the hub everyone else has to route through. Here's where the opportunity actually sits. The obvious trades have already moved. Defense doubled. Energy at records. Semiconductor front page news everywhere. That is not where the edge is anymore. The edge is on one layer below. In the picks and shovels of the world's being built behind the headlines, guys. Every transformation in this decade need the same handful of things to run on. Power, material, infrastructure, land, and capital architecture. And almost none of it exists yet at the scale the system is going to demand. Families who compound through this period will not be the ones who chase the obvious trade after it was named, actually. They will be the ones who saw what every winner was going to need and got there first. The next big thing is not a stock, and it's definitely not a sector. It is the opportunity that does not have a name yet. So here's my take. The world is really not decoupling from America. It is actually being recoupled to it. The question is whether you are positioned for it or not. See you next week.